This is a video where I'm gonna show you what we're gonna learn in this course. We will learn together how to build a system of roles and permissions in Laravel 7 without any packages. We will learn about gates and policies, we will learn about middleware and directives, and if you are interested in learning all these features from Laravel, this course is for you. Let me show you how this system I have built already works, and then I will go step by step and show you how to build this from scratch. So this is the blog I have built, and this blog has a administration part. So if I go here, click on dashboard, we have the dashboard side here, and we have here in the left sidebar we have the roles, users and posts. So if I click on roles, we can see the roles. We have already created some roles, which are these ones. So we have admin, manager, user and content editor. We have as well here permissions. So we can see the permissions that each role can have. So if I want to create a new role, I just click on this button here and let's create a new role. For example, I can create here designer, you see, and this here is added automatically through a jQuery. And this is the slug. This will be used in the code later on. We're gonna see how to use this to be able to give access to certain user depending on the role and the permission has. And here we can add permissions. For example, designer view. We can add a comma, designer edit, and so on. So if I click submit now, I have ready another role here, and I can use it for the users, right? So here is where we can create the roles and assign the permission to those roles. Then we have the users. Here we have some users, and you can see we have the roles for the users and their permissions. Let me show you. We have, for example, we have these users. Yeah, this is a user role, and the other one as well is a user role. But each of them has different type of permissions. You see, this has 2 permissions, but this one has 3 permissions. So we can assign different number of permission for the same role. The same we have here with content editor as well. Here, this one has 3 permissions, and this one here is same role but has different number of permissions. If I want to change those roles and the permissions, I just have to go here and edit. For example, let's edit this user here. Let me show you. I want to edit this one. Yeah, if I want to edit and change the role and the permission, I just have to click on this button here. And on this page, what I can do, I can add more permission. As you can see, we just have to check this box, or even I can change the role. So I can change the role by selecting from this select list. For example, I can add this as a content editor, you see, and as a content editor I got the permissions for this content editor role. If I select a different role, for example, let me select manager, this has different permissions. So every time we are changing a role, we have different permissions showing here, you see. So for example, designer has these permissions, manager has these permissions, admin has these permissions, and so on. Yeah, but you can create this and change this in the role page, right? And this will appear here. But for example, now for this user, I can change the role, and for example, let's do content editor. And for this user, I'm gonna add the create and view and edit post. Yeah, so if I submit now, this user now is a content editor and has these permissions, right? So this is how we can assign to each user different roles and their permissions. Let's see those roles and permissions in action. For example, to be able to see what user I'm using right now, for me as a developer, it's very important to be able to see what user I'm using. So I have added this background to the user I am logged in right now. And also we can see in the top right side corner here, we can see the name of the user and the role he has, right? So now as an admin, I am able to see all these options in the left side here. So I am able to create, edit and delete roles. I'm able to create, edit and delete users, and as well I am able to create, edit and delete posts. So as an admin I can do whatever I like. I have full control of this project, of this application, right? But let's test some of the other users. For example, let's test the manager. We have here the manager. This is the manager. This has the manager role and has these permissions here. So this is the role, and here we have the permissions, right? So let me just log in with this user and see what through this role and through his permissions, what he can do on the dashboard. So if I log out from this user, let me just log out and log in with the manager. Now here in the left side, as a manager, I don't have access to the roles. Only admin can do and manage the roles. So as you can see, these roles disappears here, and we don't have access to the roles, but we have access to the users. So as a manager, I should be able to manage users. Yes, but in this case, this manager has permissions to access the users, but just view the users and edit the users. As you can see, these buttons here are showing that. But if we add more permission for this user, like for example create or delete, we should be able to see the button for create and as well here the button to be able to delete. So let me show that. I'm gonna go to the roles through the admin. Let me just go back and use the admin. Okay, so now here I just need to add a new permission for this role, because I'm using the manager role, which we just add these two permission for this role, but we can add more. So let's add, for example, delete and create permission. So if I go to edit here, I should be able to say manager create and manager delete. So now once we have this, I'm gonna save the permissions for this role, and we have more permissions now. And let's go to the users, and here we can add more permissions for this manager, right? So this is the manager I want to edit. So let me just edit this, and here I'm gonna add more permissions to be able to create and delete users. So if I save this and go back and log in with this manager, now I can access the users, and here now you can see we can have access to create new user and as well delete users. So this is how we can assign roles and permissions to different users. In this case, we have done it with the manager. So once again, this manager has permissions for the users and for the posts. But let's try another user. For example, if we log in with a simple user. So for example, this user here, Michael, has permission to create, view and edit. Shouldn't have permission to delete, right? So let's see that. If I log in with this one, let me just log out from this one, from the manager, and I will log in with this simple user. You see, another feature we have here is that the user doesn't have access to users, just to posts. And another thing which this user will have, just be able to view just his posts. You see, this is only posts created by Michael, which is this user. I have just logged in. So as I show you, the permissions are to view, to edit and to create, but not to delete, right? So this is how this role and permissions work for the user as well. Now if I log in with the content editor, a content editor, through the role and permissions, he will be able to see all the posts from all the users, right? And let me show you that. If I log in with the content editor, so as you can see here, the content editor, he doesn't have access to the users and the roles either here, just to the posts. But the difference between this and the simple user is that he can access all the posts. If I click on the post here, I can see all the posts from all the users. because this is editor, content editor, so he has to have access to do that. So now all this functionality and much more we're gonna see in this course are created by using the policies, gates, middleware and directives using Laravel 7. So if you are interested in this course, if you are interested in learn on how to build this system from scratch, I think this course is for you. If you like this video, please give a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to our channel.